Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. Yes, part two, up and running. We are looking at various chats in both rooms and bringing in stuff. We're trying to understand where you're coming from. I'm reading very fast, so really the idea is to understand the pulse of the country through these channels that we have. And this isn't really an exact sampling of the American people. Most of the people that are in our chat room over at Vaughn are people who've been trolling us for the past 5 years. That's who get in. The rest of the people can't get into the chat room because the guy keeps people out, which is disturbing. The quote just came in. What I tell people is if you look like me and you hop out of your truck, you shouldn't be getting your disability check. This is coming from Dr. Rand Paul. Over half the people on disability are either anxious or their back hurts. Join the club. Who doesn't get up like anxious for work every day and their back hurts? Everybody over 40 has little back pain, says Dr. Rand Paul. So the idea of the Republicans and Rand Paul is that everyone should have a job. Well, there's 97 million people in America that are unemployed for whatever reason. I'm not in any way going to respond to that statement. Yeah. But I am going to ban you. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, let's look at the math behind this. Apparently Mark's made it almost impossible for me to ban people now. The math is simple. I'm going to show you that our unemployment rate is not 4%. Quite the opposite. We've got a situation where our unemployment rate is 45%, and our government is lying through their teeth. Yeah. Here's the math. It's simple. It's not a big deal. You can take a look at a calculator. Okay, we're going to take the 97 million people that are unemployed out of a total workforce of, say, 215 million people that could be employed, because remember, we have 320 million people in America, but a lot of them are children and older people that just they can't work because they're just, they're retired. Now, I could work, even though I'm 59 this month. I could work. I'm employable and I could work, but I don't need to because I really saved up enough money to survive comfortably with what I have. So I'm in the 97 million that could work but aren't working for whatever reason, just so you know. So I represent the non-working population in America. Sarah represents the working population in America. No, Sarah went out for a dinner out. She and a girlfriend wanted to have a little treat because they work hard and they're out for dinner. She called me earlier. So here's the ratio of 97 million to 215 million. 4.45, which is 45%. So 97 to 215 is a 45% ratio. So 45% of our population is unemployed. Not 4%. That's a seriously big disconnect between the traditional statistic that we hear about 4% unemployment. So how do they get the 4% unemployment? The statistic. Well, they get it from people that collect unemployment insurance compensation. And remember, Obama had extended them for 99 weeks when they should only have gotten 24 weeks, and now they're getting 24 weeks. So Obama basically gave a lot of people about $45,000. That weren't working. But now we've got 24 weeks on unemployment insurance, so when they drop off of the unemployment roll at 24 weeks, the statistic shows them as not unemployed, even though they are unemployed. They're just not collecting any compensation. So that's how they tweak the statistic. Really, the unemployment statistic only shows people that are collecting unemployment insurance. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even show the real nature of our economy. Now, in 1978, I was applying for my classes at the registrar at UCLA, and I heard a conversation going on behind the scrim that had been put up for the registrar. And I was only 18 years old, I think I was 17 years old. I was 17 years old, and I heard a conversation going on in the background among economists that interested me. So I peeked around the corner, and lo and behold, Milton Friedman was talking to a bunch of grad students. It was a side conversation. So I just sat in on it out of curiosity. And no, I don't have. No, I think the coloring is off in the camera. Let me readjust it. Hold on. I look a little jaundiced. I know. There you go. How's that? Better? More pinky? More pinky for you. Anyway, Milton Friedman was sitting there pontificating about his concept of printing money and how great monetarism was and blah, blah, blah. And I just couldn't help but interrupt after 15 minutes of listening to this sitting pile of crap that was talking. And I said, what about our economy if we run out of energy? What happens then? What happens if we use all our oil or our energy? I mean, theoretically, it's possible. And he said, oh, the free market will solve that. Okay. Now, what happens, I said, when we send our jobs overseas because it's cheaper labor overseas? At that time, we didn't even have the word outsourcing. And he said, oh, the free market will solve that. So, and I said, well, how can you print up money and infuse it in the economy, which weakens the dollar and causes the cost of things to go up, inflation? How can you possibly do that and not undermine the economic stability of the dollar itself? And he says, oh, the free market will solve that. He literally answered every one of my questions with the free market will solve everything. And then I finally said, how is this a free market when you're printing up money left and right, undermining the value of everybody's money? How is that a free market? It's a subsidized market. There's nothing free about it. Oh, the free market will solve that. He literally had no other answer for all the important questions that I was asking. And I said to him, in 30 years, our economy is going to falter. And I was right. 30 years later, 2008, 2009, 30 years after 1978, the economy faltered. The subprime mortgage debacle happened. Countless companies went under. We had a huge bailout, cost billions of dollars we still haven't recovered from. And we've got now a liar, an incessant pathological liar as a president who says, oh, the economy's doing great. Well, do you know something? The pension funds in every state right now have actually been earning the most amount of money they could ever earn. We've had a bumper year stock market wise. And in a way, Trump's right about that. The economy that has been bullish, the stock market's been bullish for some time. The longest bullish period in history, actually. But that the stock market is actually in a very bad situation for pension funds because they're not earning enough. Pension funds have made 30% in profit in this bullish economy, yet they can't meet the demand of a 64% drain by all the people now retiring in our state governments and county governments and federal government. We are literally running behind this massive load of pension costs because the stupid Democrats offered all these pensions in every state, and Republicans offered all these pensions to everybody and padded their pockets so that now we have to pay them all $100,000 and they retire at the age of 51. Well, I predict those days will be over in about 2 or 3 years. I'm going to introduce a plan that I think every governor should adopt of lowering the pension payout from $100,000 to $36,000, and that includes the post office. I think we can settle on $36,000 a year for everybody in retirement and manage that number. We're going to have to see 50%, if at least 50% reductions in pension funds. Now, my local CEO of a hospital who was making $400,000 a year is retiring this year, and they had to decide how much she should get, and they're giving her $100,000 the rest of her life. And she ran a hospital into the ground, so financially upside down that it had to borrow $22 million to finance a wing of a hospital we didn't even need after we, the taxpayers, paid $50 million toward it. So they're so far in arrears, it's ridiculous. That was the woman that managed it, and she's going to get $100,000 a year the rest of her life. This is not tenable. We cannot continue this. It's not possible. We cannot possibly contain the drain that's going on, even in a bullish economy. We can't even meet the demands of these pension funds. So the Democrats have shown that their spending practices are burying this economy. Some California pensions are 100% for life after 30 years of service. That's unbelievable, Cliff. Yeah, that's amazing. 100%. This woman, the CEO of our local hospital, gets 25% of her top salary of $400,000 a year. At what point will the federal debt collapse the economy and the U.S. breaks up into FEMA camps or FEMA regions? That day is approaching. Yeah, they're getting to that point where they're going to have to eliminate state governments completely. I would say within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have to look at a massive restructuring of the government. It's just not possible for us to continue this lie that the states are engaged in, telling people they can all get lots of more money when they retire. It's crazy. We need more jobs, too, in the private sector where you can work at home and make $36,000 a year. But I think $3,000 a month should be enough for all of us to survive. And so you just have to learn to cut back on your expenses and live on less. Many of you are hooked up to mortgage plans that you'll probably pay $2,200 a month just to stay in your house. But that extra $800 will go toward food. And I know you can live on $800 a month in food, but it won't cover a lot of your extraneous insurance costs. Your home insurance may be, collapsing completely. Your medical insurance, forget that. You'll be covered under Medicare, Medicaid. They really need to destroy who? You're not going to be able to destroy homeless people. No, we need to clean up people's homes, or make homes for people. We need to give people an opportunity to have a place to live. Now, I'll have a White House to live in, but outside the White House, I want to put a mobile service unit so that people in the local area can at least take showers and, have a washer dryer and maybe a couple mobile service units. Nothing as advanced as this one, which was made by Mercedes-Benz. That's just a mobile medical unit. Yeah, but a mobile service unit could provide definite services for people in areas around cities that are homeless. I'm gonna definitely fix the problem with services in Skid Row. Skid Row, California is going to need federal involvement. The LA city has collapsed. They don't do enough to fix the problem. LA cannot manage their own problem. The Skid Row problem is going beyond belief. We got 47,000 people displaced in every city in America. That's at the minimum. I'm not going to say that homeless people aren't content with the situation as a parasite on every level. I get that. Jussie just got back from Hawaii. How are you, Jussie? Jussie Smollett, everybody. How's it going? You got a lot of pull there with Michelle Obama fighting, getting Kim Fox to drop the charges on you, Jussie. Boy, you're a classic poster child of corruption. Homeless people have a desire not to work because they don't want to be told what to do. Well, no, I think we should set up bathrooms in Skid Row. I don't see, there's so many buildings there. Why can't we plumb a few with bathrooms? It's ridiculous. The city of LA could buy up 3 or 4 buildings in Skid Row that are not even being used because it's so dangerous. The people board up their houses and their walls. Build those buildings into group bathrooms and individual stalls and make showers, maybe public showers that are outside. Yeah, it could be done. Warm water showers. I'm telling you, it's not that big of a deal. You're not going to do very well in Hollywood, Jussie. Your career's over. I'm so sorry. Haven't they told you? David, I worked with the homeless. I dealt with homeless women who defraud charities by pretending to be pregnant despite being nearly 60 years old. No, I know. There's all kinds of ways to cheat the system. The system is cheatable. We built a system that's totally cheatable. That's the problem. We have to build a system that isn't cheatable. I don't need to compare people and what they think about homeless people. I just need to solve the basic problems. We're talking back to the basics here. Washer, dryer to clean your clothes. A shower to wash off and get clean. Bathrooms to defecate and urinate in. I mean, hello? What's wrong with the human race? They can't even figure the simplest things out and make it happen? Instead, we just look at them and go, oh, those homeless people, they're just a bunch of scumbags. They deserve to live there. Screw them. Okay, we don't need a dryer in cities where people can hang up stuff. Sure, absolutely. If it's summertime and not winter, we won't bring dryers. But you can't exactly live in wet clothes. Yeah, well, they're doing that down at the border. They're having human trafficking of children, and they're parsing these children off with like thugs who want to get over coyotes and thugs, people wanting to carry drugs over. So they give the guy one of these rectal drug packs that they give with cocaine up their butt, and they have a couple kids who are human trafficked to go with them, claiming that that's their father. Oh yeah. I can say mulatto. Yes. Why? You're allowed to say mulatto here. Access to laundry should be a human right at this point. Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Please don't post that here. I thought I explained that. Yeah, Electric Plays, you can't post that stuff here. Well, I don't need to do much to legalize prostitution. All we have to do is tell local clinics that they can offer a packet, STI or STD packets, to people freely without any questions asked. Anyone who wants to get checked for an STD or an STI will be able to do that. We don't want it to go on their record. I don't want a record-based system. I want people to treat themselves with antibiotics and things that'll stop their gonorrhea and syphilis. I know that homeless people don't want to work. I get that. Yeah. Well, you're calling them an ops. The thing about homeless people, and I've lived around at least 1,000 homeless people in my years, and I've talked to a lot of people, and I can tell you that their primary reason for not working is not what you think. It's not because they don't want to do something, make some money. They just don't want to be told what to do. That's the big thing about homeless people. The reason why they're pushed out by their families on the street is because their families said, hey, you need to do this, this, and this, and this to fix your life up. And they say, screw you. That's why they're on the street. I'll bet many of them have had opportunities to clean up their act with family members helping them, but they usually blow that off because their families are telling them what to do. No one wants to be told what to do. So homelessness is ironically an extension of America's delusional freedom that they think they have. No, claiming they're lazy. You know, remember Ed? Ed wrote a book. He published a book online. He wasn't lazy at all. Ed worked he was a schizophrenic. He lived in a foster home as a kid. He was schizophrenic. Ed completely worked no time in his life. But he said that he would work cleaning up if he had his music. That if we gave him his music, he could probably clean up stuff. He could easily be a janitor at one of our group living facilities. Hey, good night, Kenny. Take care from Peru. Kenny DeLulz from Peru. Good night. Yeah, we are all lazy by nature, so some may never overcome it, right? So you have to fight that laziness. But Ed would have worked. But Ed grew up completely a victim of the system, really, when you think about it. He only got $770, which was typical what people were getting back then for his Social Security or disability. He got disability. And he could only afford like 3 or 4 motel rooms during the month at like $60 to $80 a pop. And then he could afford to get dog food for his dog, and he'd buy some tobacco and he'd roll it thinking he's saving money on cigarettes. Well, rolling tobacco like Bugler, that stuff kills you. That's super strong. And Ed became so sick that he had to check in, and they said he had lung cancer. Stage 4, end stage 4 lung cancer. And Ed didn't make it much past that. But Ed was willing to work. Ed's a classic example of somebody who was willing to work, but he didn't have any opportunity to do that. And no one would ever get Ed a place to stay and help him out enough to get him to that next point. And here's a picture of Ed, if you want to see him. He had his service dog that kept him from being schizophrenic, bark whenever he got delusional. Ed was a good guy when it comes to just being a guy on the show, and he wasn't a total lazy guy. I mean, the guy had a purpose in life. Well, there is no reason to overcome laziness if you have an automated system and it pays you money. Now, don't you Republicans realize we're heading toward automation? Hasn't anyone given you a wake-up call on that? That in the next 10 years, 30% of anybody making over $80,000 will actually lose their job. 30% of you people making $80,000 a year are going to lose their job. No questions asked. And they're already saying people who are 55 or older are having a hard time keeping their job. Yeah, it's a serious problem. So we are moving toward automation, and we just have to embrace that reality that we're going to have to give people like a dole of money to survive. It's not going to happen on its own. I'm trying to pull up, there he is. Here's Ed with everything he ever owned in his life. Yep, that's it. That's Ed. Ed was 46 years old, I think, when he died. And that's his dog, and that's his basket. And Ed would park under a bench and sleep in the middle of the open desert in New Mexico. That's not easy, man. He had a hard life. That was 46 years of nonstop suffering. He never could get a decent shower when he wanted one. I mean, this guy, like I said, he only got 4 motel rooms a month to sleep in which he had a little fun. We're treating people worse than Ed treated his dog. Anyway. I know. Ed was in our room for a long time, and he used to hang out here, and he and I have had, we had conflicts. Some people tried to get him a job, but he didn't really want to do anything but clean. He liked cleaning. You got to find out what people look to do, what people enjoy doing. They can't just all of a sudden, start working. A lot of people who can't get out of their home with their mom and dad are sitting there on their ass every day and wondering, well, gee, what am I going to do? I know a lot of you people live with your parents and you're like 36 years old and you're still wondering what you're going to do in your life. The only way you'll ever find out is if you take that first step and apply at a job somewhere. Now, when I started working when I was 18 or 17, actually I started working at 15. But when I started working, I was working like 3 jobs. I just went totally into it, nonstop. I just said, yeah, bring it. But when you're young, it's easy to do that. But when you get older, it's a lot harder to, schluck around your resume and look for a job. I know a guy right now who was making $250,000 a year last year. Just got fired because his company finally ran out of credit. And he doesn't have a job now. So now he's looking for another job making $250,000 a year. Good luck with that. And remember, we talked about this. You can't use the N-word here. Well, yeah, some of you would have stayed with your parents, but then look what I had to do. I had to take care of my parents for 25 years because nobody in my family would bother. They were always too busy. Whenever we called, asked them for help, they were never able. I remember my mother broke her leg, and I remember I was working across town, and I drove all across Los Angeles on a Friday night. I think I was averaging 70 miles an hour in traffic because she had broken her leg and they didn't want to call an ambulance because it was to go 5 miles cost like $3,000 for people. And I drove all the way across country with my truck, and I arrived in 1 hour, and I managed to get my mom to the hospital. But after that broken leg, it was just downhill from there. I was just one hospital after another, and same with my dad. And I was the one that carried the ball for the whole family. I helped my parents through every single situation they ever ran into and gave them all the support a son can do. If you're going to stay at home, at least be that kind of a son or daughter. Because really, that is a hidden economy in our country that we really need more people to do. We can't just rest on our nursing homes. They're a disaster. I've seen so many abuses in nursing homes in recent times, I can't even tell you. I saw feces served at a lunch table at a nursing home. That's how bad it is. And you say, well, why would they put feces in the gravy bowl? It was diarrhea. They put diarrhea in the gravy bowl. Well, it turns out the nursing homes make a lot of money on kidney dialysis. There's a big markup on that. So if they've got somebody in a nursing home who's like just hanging on, and you give them diarrhea to put on their gravy, they'll become a kidney dialysis victim within the next 2 or 3 days. And then you got more money coming in. Medicaid pays through the nose for dialysis patients. Oh, yeah. And I even reported it, and the director of the hospital refused to even take my criticism. I would have had to go to the police with my sample. And at the time, I was helping somebody in a retirement home, so I didn't want to ruffle too many feathers. But I still have a sample of the gravy. I have it stored in a lockbox. Yeah, it's gravy in a little sealed container that has feces in it. I know it's pretty weird to even have something like that, but I still can't believe that it was that
People
bad.
would say,
I don't believe you. You just could have just put that in there and claim it's from.
No, of course they are. No, I just kept the diarrhea in the gravy
but why keep that if
to test it someday. I want to test it to see if I'm accurate.
for
If-
yourself?
Yeah, if it has
because you can't actually.
I can
use it.
smell the E. coli.
I
Okay.
understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you can't.
I just want to know for sure.
admissible to anyone
I don't
else.
plan on
It's just
suing
for
them.
your
Believe
own
me, I would have sued them.
benefit.
I would have sued them when the director of the hospital said, "Yo, you're lying. That's not true. We don't ever use that." You can smell the smell of feces.
No, don't encourage him, please, misanthropy. Sorry.
No, I have it in a safe place to test in case I ever have to test it. How's your evening?
Good.
Did you have some good dinner?
Yeah, my friend treated me, and
Oh,
I
nice.
went to. I had a hamburger, which I needed.
Good. Good. Did you get a good one of those nice big avocado burgers
Not avocado, but yeah.
or whatever burger? The bacon and jalapeno burger.
Yes.
You
and
got
peanut
that?
butter.
And peanut butter. Peanut butter, bacon, and jalapeno.
And maple syrup.
And maple syrup
It's
on this
called
burger.
A meteor.
A meteor. Oh, that's a cool burger. Well, I don't think you guys are going to avoid socialism in that we already have a socialist system. I was taking care of somebody. I didn't want to sue anybody. I just wanted out of there. At that point, you just want to get out. I tried to report the gravy to the staff, and they were so completely confused. They said, I don't know what's going on. I can't help you. So anyway. So when you worked as a cook, you gave some of the customers a fecal transplant? You didn't wash your hands after using the
What?
bathroom?
That's horrible.
That's horrible. Yeah, we're going to ban you for that. All right. Thank you so much. A car found packed with gas canisters was found near Notre Dame. You know, and by the way, we just found out that somebody had complained about a fire prior to the fire. So this looks like premeditated arson.
Wow.
A criminal terrorist investigation has been opened in Paris following the discovery of a car parked near Notre Dame Cathedral with 7 gas canisters and pages written in Arabic inside. Wow. It looks to me like somebody planted a typical jihadist attack. This looks fake to me. I mean, it looks like it's real. The fire was real, but it looks to me like they're setting up Muslims to take the blame for this. They're scapegoating Muslims here. I heard the fetal transplant surgery has been helping kids with autism. Yeah, that's a story that I didn't really want to talk about tonight. Kids with autism are getting help from fecal transplants. I just find that bizarre, but I'm glad they're
Arizona
seeing.
State University?
Yeah, it's a real link. I mean, for real. We read this the other day that ASU researchers see hope for autism symptoms. 45% reduction in symptoms when kids are allowed to transfer fecal from one colon to another. Colon transplant of fecal donors. I know, it's bizarre. It sounds like an Onion article, but it's a real article. I mean, they're finding, that people with Crohn's disease actually have the problem that leads to Crohn's disease, which plagues most of the Jewish community, is Crohn's disease actually, people eat things that are too clean. They're super clean freaks, the people who get Crohn's disease. Everything's so clean that they don't develop a bacterial blend in their colon to fight disastrous, maladies. But what's happening is people who are fecal donors are offering that and they're using that to help people with Crohn's disease, which is like a colitis. It's very serious.
Do you need to?
I'll step out now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry.
No, fine.
You're welcome to not step out, but that is interesting. That it gives hope to autism symptoms. Who knew? That's interesting. You think that 4chan discovered it and now they actually tried it, and then 4chan suggested it, then Arizona State University decided, well, we'll try it out, and then it worked, or was it vice versa? Arizona State University's like, well, we'll try anything. I don't know. That's interesting. Well, that's what Misanthropy's claiming, misanthrope. Yeah, I should thank him. Thank you, David, for having people talk about this very enlightening subject. All right, good night, Master Meatball. Microflora, a good topic. How is that? That's just like, what? When I come on, it ends up like that? About gross things like that. I'm such a delicate flower. I can't possibly handle the vulgarity of online personalities. I can handle it. Do I want to handle it? No. Can is a matter of skill. Won't is a matter of will. Will I handle it? No. Yeah, is it, and it has nothing to do with misanthropy. It has, or does it? Sometimes it does. Yeah, people can be okay with themselves, 361. David has his show, Bengalitis, and I know that David already had a big lunch, so that's why I did not invite David to dinner tonight. Because he's in the middle of his show, and I know he would never leave his show. Maybe it's that. Maybe people feel very comfortable around me. They can tell me all their things, everything. Because I don't react, and I'll be like, ew, poop, ew, that's so gross. I can't believe you're talking about that. Be like, okay. The internet is enamored with scatological humor. And I'm just like, most of that, it's weird, but worms will digest that. And then they have their own scat. And worm scat is really good for their garden. Oh God, no. If that happens, what would I want to do? God, if that happens. I sure as hell hope not, to know. I think I might become a misanthrope if that happens. Maybe misanthropy. I'll definitely become a misanthrope. Or just a missin America. No, I cannot play that. Thank you. Well, I'm not going to join the club unless the same president is still here in 4 years. Wow, he has some real scat going on, huh? I guess that's as close as I got to playing it for you. Ireland? You're not going to build any actual condos, just sell shares in condos and in condo developments. I hope they want to go a different route. I hope the American people want to go a different route. I really do. It just makes me disappointed, sad, frustrated, mad. There's 600 million neurons in the gut. Do you have more information, Reptoid, about your statistic to verify that? I agree with you, Misanthropy, which also doesn't make me happy. Maybe it is, maybe people will wake up to a third-party choice. Oh, thank you. Enteric nervous system. Or enteric nervous system, intrinsic nervous system. One of the main divisions of the autonomic nervous system consists of a mesh-like system of neurons that governs the function of the gastrointestinal tract. It's capable of acting independently of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems, but it may be influenced by them. It's called the second brain. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Thanks, Sharky Shark. And Reptoid. Thank you, Blueberry Jam. You love me. No. I don't know how much 7 billion grains of sand weighs. All right. I call them the Scat Man. All right. I agree. LOL. Homeless. The enteric nervous system in humans consists of some 500 million neurons. 0.5% of the number of neurons in the brain. 5 times as many as 100 million neurons in the human spinal cord. 2/3 as many as the whole nervous system of a cat. The enteric nervous system is embedded in the lining of the gastrointestinal system, beginning in the esophagus and extending down to the anus. The neurons of the ENS are collected into 2 types of ganglia: myenteric, auerbox, and submucosal, Meissner's plexuses. Myenteric plexuses are located between the inner and outer layers of the muscularis externa, while submucosal plexuses are located in the submucosa. Interesting. Why would you want to do that, Ping? Sorry, LOL. My hair looks lighter today because the sun was shining today. Maybe. I don't know. David might have said, actually, I'm sitting closer to the light than I normally do. You want to create 50 small Israels around the world? Why? The ENS is capable of autonomous functions like the coordination of reflexes. Although it receives considerable innervation from the autonomic nervous system, it can and does operate independently of the brain and the spinal cord. So its study is a focus of neurogastroenterology. It can be damaged by ischemia. Transplantation, previously described as a theoretical possibility, has been a clinical reality in the United States since 2011, is regularly performed at some hospitals. Nothing important, Ping. Oh, whatever. David can pull it off. In vertebrates, the enteric nervous system includes efferent neurons, afferent neurons, and interneurons, all of which makes the enteric nervous system capable of carrying reflexes and acting as an integrating center in the absence of CNS input. Wow. It controls the churning of intestinal contents, controls the secretion of enzymes, it makes neurotransmitters. Oh, that's an interesting idea, desalinating into tankers while they're at sea. Huh. That is kind of funny. People are always chasing the almighty dollar just for happiness. And that doesn't really give them happiness. It's... Beyond interesting, it's a future. Well... if you can figure it out, I'm sure it would be the future. If you can actually do it, not just talk about it. Good idea. Putting ideas into practice. That's a whole nother story. The enteric nervous system also makes use of more than 30 neurotransmitters: acetylcholine, dopamine, and serotonin. Wow. More than 90% of the body's serotonin lies in the gut, as well as about 50% of the body's dopamine. Wow. That is very interesting. I think you're completely capable of progress, Ping. I just know, I do believe that to take an idea from idea to fruition takes work. Oh, I haven't added it to his playlist, but I opened it. I'll add it to his playlist now. Happiness. Oh, this looks interesting. It's just a 4-minute video with the... Okay. All right, added to the playlist. It's a good short film on how gut microbiome affects brain, mind, mental health. Yeah, that is interesting, Misanthropy. Okay, very cool. I would probably like to watch that about the how the gut
Thanks to
microbiome
Squarespace for
affects the brain and mind. I like that. Now I wonder if I should have not eaten those jalapenos tonight. And to help my gut. Maybe kefir and kombucha. I do not like kombucha. It tastes like beer, and I don't like beer. 840 claims that the new Ebola vaccine proves to be 97.5% effective. But some would say it actually causes Ebola. Kombucha is like, it's fermented tea is the best way to say it. Yeah, I do not like that stuff at all. No, you never did get my thoughts. I didn't hear about the black hole that was just discovered. Yeah, kombucha, not my cup of tea. I have had kefir before. It's like a yogurt drink. I'm okay with that. And I like yogurt. But the problem with yogurt is, for me, I don't like all those. I usually buy smaller containers, and then now they don't recycle them. So then it makes me think of all the plastic, and so I just stopped buying yogurt. I am refusing to read the news lately. And I'm also like not watching TV lately. Since about end of February. Well, I don't know about the news, but I go through these stages where I just do not want to read anything from the news. Because I feel like I'm not as productive if I do those things. If I read the news, then it's usually all negative, and then that just takes up, it just adds negativity to my brain and takes up my time thinking about negativity and dwelling on those things. So what I have been doing lately, well, I spent spring break, which is the first week in April, totally reorganizing my stuff that I own at my house. Then I have been slowly working on, I've been getting a little more sleep, which is really nice. I have been listening to books on tape, quite a few books on tape. I've listened to, I've listened to different ones. They're usually non-fiction, usually about business and leadership. Those are my favorite kinds of books. Usually clean when you're stressed. Have I been relaxing at all more since I finished my master's? Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that whole idea of cleaning was after my master's. And I went through and got rid of a bunch of papers that I still had from when I got my bachelor's. And I've kept some of the papers when I did my project for my master's. And I'm wondering, do I even need to keep those papers? But anyway, but yeah, I guess I've been working in the garden quite a bit. And then creating engaging learning experiences, and that's about it. I am not lost. No. Do I feel lost now that I'm done with school again? No. I don't feel lost at all. Maybe ask me again in the summer, but I'm too busy to feel lost. I feel really settled lately. And I used to feel like, before I got my master's, I used to feel like I've got to climb some kind of ladder, like I've got to be better, do better, have a better position. And I would say that I am in a really good position. Yes, I have all kinds of people in my class. I have a diverse classroom, or somewhat diverse classroom. But now, and I don't know if it's because I got my master's or it's because I turned 41, but this past year, it's like I've reached a plateau. Not like a peak, because a peak is like, it's all downhill from here. But like I've reached this, like, it is a peak because it's like I've reached this really high point. I'm like, oh, this is a really good place to be for a long time. Yeah. So I don't feel lost. I feel found, if anything. I feel like I found where I need to be for my career. I've found where, I'm happy in my relationship. I have a great place just to live and be. I have, yeah, it's really good.
Okay, somebody's got to relax and enjoy the rest of the night. You've had a big day. Thank you so much for helping out tonight, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Enjoy your rest of your evening.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
You shouldn't have to work all day and then come in here
You
and
got
spend
your
more than
dessert stuff or whatever?
Yeah, I took care of everything.
Okay. And you got your coffee for yourself.
Yes, I'm all loaded up with organic coffee from my Keurig
I did bring some stuff home to work on.
Well, don't work into the evening. I mean, my goodness.
Well, maybe I'll work for an hour.
Enjoy yourself. Have a Netflix experience or something.
No, I don't do that.
Oh, that's right. She has to work constantly. I forgot.
It's not that I have to work constantly. It's just that if I watch Netflix, then what happens is that I'll zone out and I'll be like, I'll lay down and watch it,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like too lazy to get up to turn it off, and I'll just like let it roll over. And then I will say this with electromagnetic frequencies, when I'm watching TV or something like that, it's hard for me to go to sleep.
Oh yeah. Sleep. You're right.
So,
Not
like,
starting the
for me,
TV is
it's
a
like-
smart move. You're right.
Yeah, and that's really why I don't start the TV, because it's
That's
like
smart.
it's hard for my body to wind down. But I do listen to books on tape.
Okay. Yeah. Do something enjoyable while you're working,
Yeah,
as you prepare to sleep.
or listen to music.
But the radiation, I agree, affects you. You know, when I was a kid, I used to have a hard time going to sleep because my parents put me to bed at 7:30, and my family, much older family members, would all stay up, watch TV next to the door, right next to the wall where I was sleeping. So I'd always be hearing the TV as I went to bed. It's difficult to sleep around a TV. You have to train yourself to sleep around electromagnetic frequency radiation. And if you are parked near a smart meter on the side of your house, you do want to consider moving your bed away from it. People don't realize smart meters, this is the truth, the smart meters emit field radiation, which can affect your DNA. And your cell phones too, and cordless phones. If you use them next to your head, they're putting DNA damaging radiation, electromagnetic frequency radiation into your brain, can cause tumors in your brain. You can get brain tumors. So people that are like living next to like multiple smart meters against the side of their apartment building are really in danger. And don't hold the cell phones next to your head. Always use the answer phone speaker. Or speaker settings are all available now on cell phones. Every cell phone made in the world has a speaker phone. So you can talk with it holding in your hand away from you. Hope that helps. I know the government won't give you a public service announcement like that. Yeah, well, Netflix has got some really good episodic TV shows. I'm watching an English show right now called Broadchurch, and it's really good. There's something about the drama and the intrigue of the English writers, and this is true with French and Spanish movies. I've been watching movies with subtitles too because they're that good. They're really good with plot development and character development in Europe. I don't know what it is, but it seems like Americans are missing something there. Yeah, have you seen Broadchurch? Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of finishing up the whole program. I'm in my third season now. Dave, I can't chat in Vaughn. Yeah, the censors won't let you in. Mark has banned 350 million VPN IPs. So anybody who has a VPN or an IP that he's banned can't get in. It's crazy. Mark is trying to shut us down, and our chat rooms are important to us. Our broadcast is important to us too. And without the chat rooms, it's more difficult to do a broadcast. I think if I had no one to talk to in the chat rooms, I would be developing just vignette after vignette that I'd be spooling out. Really? Coachella starts on Friday again? Are you serious? It's like 2 weeks? That's exciting. I wish that they had better artists. I missed all the great artists from last year that were great, and I couldn't see any of them. Hopefully they'll come in. Maybe they weren't the top artists that we saw. I didn't really feel like the music was evolving that much, but I know it is. Yeah, I'm just hoping they'll have better people to play. Oh, Mark can't shut me down. ACLU would support a case against him. He knows that. It's dicey just running a show, and doing what he does, censoring us, not knowing how many laws he's violating. Oh, no procams, no guest chat? What happened? Does guest chat? Yeah, sorry there, Ghost of Shannon. Yeah. I didn't realize you wanted to come in. It's the morning hours for you in Hong Kong. 840 confirms ACLU. Okay. Not ALCU. I'll see you later. I think Billie Eilish was really kind of cool. I didn't know how thin she was. She looked like she's covering a pretty heavy, midsection there, but who isn't, I think that's kind of cool. As a solo artist, she's very intense. I think she's got a really fresh new voice. I think she's a big girl, but man, I love the style. I love her style. I love the way she moves. I've never seen anybody wear a Teletubby outfit and look good in it. First time ever, Billie Eilish. Hey, Ghost of Shannon, man. There you are, off the coast of Hong Kong. Beautiful view you have. I'm going to soak it in without having to pay your rent.
Gabe, would you like to say anything to my neighbors across the way?
Hello, neighbors. You're awesome. Hello, Hong Kong. I can't get over it. It is a safe city, according to Ghost of Shannon. Not many people are hurt. It's amazing how well managed the population
Highly safe.
is. Yeah. Great. Well, we're always interested in viewers around the world. That's
Biggest
for sure.
news in the morning is usually traffic accidents.
Really? Traffic accidents, that's it, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think that's the way it should be in the
That's
world.
the lead news story.
The world shouldn't constantly live off the news. I think we've become kind of news junkies. I know I've been immersed in news for so long that I can't live without it. I think this show helps nourish my need for news. Yep. He looks like he's in the mafia, Misanthropy says. Yeah, you've got that kind of made man kind of look, like you established, you made a few connections, you got your cash coming in, you're living high in the hog. What does it cost to live there, if you don't mind me asking, like monthly? It's like $3,000 a month to live in an apartment, US dollars?
Yeah, we live in a building. It's about 30 years old. I'd say it's 3,000 to 4,000 for 2-bedroom.
3,000 to 4,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment in a condominium building. That's amazing. Many of us don't realize how lucky we've got it. I mean, there are people. It's amazing. You could live in a trailer in New Mexico for $200 a month. And here you're paying 3,000 to 4,000 to live in a nice apartment overlooking Hong Kong.
Have you lived in a trailer in New Mexico?
I know people that do. It is possible. It's not that bad. They've got a nice community, even a crafts program and shuffleboard. Tiny houses are a great new thing happening in America. I think tiny houses are going to kick off. But the thing about in Hong Kong is space is limited, so it's going to be tiny stacked containers. I'm sure they're working on that right now.
Yeah. No, no, they call them micro flats.
Micro flats. Cool. Well, that's good. I think micro flats will be the
200 to
future.
300 square feet.
Oh, okay. How many square feet? 200? 300?
Okay, Dave, I got one last question, and then I'll...
Okay.
Yeah, for a microflat. All right, my last question is, what do you think about this admission scandal for these, your alma mater, UCLA, USC,
Yeah.
parents paying money to get their kids in school?
Yeah, they've been doing it for years. I remember running into it with the fraternities. Everyone at the fraternities knew who had a car and who didn't. And if their parents didn't buy them a car, they didn't get into any major university, any fraternities at the school. But riggings of registration and SAT scores, I think, has been going on a long time. I think the fact that they finally nabbed a few of these people is really a good sign. It would make it fairer for everybody. Right now, I think we're dealing with a lot of people who have bought their way into schools. I met a guy who bought a $25 paper, and he said that he was going to get an A+ on it. And he asked me what I was going to get on my paper. I said, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking maybe a B. This guy's like a tough grader. And he told me, no, I'm going to get an A+. And I said, how do you know that? He said, because I bought it, and it will get me an A+. And sure enough, it got him an A+. He was right. And I didn't call him out as having purchased the paper. I just walked. I took my grade and I said, this is ridiculous. You can buy papers for $25. It'll get you an A+. That was back then.
Dave, when I was a student, I belonged to the Alpha Beta fraternity.
Alpha Beta. Really? That's a store I used to go to when I shopped in my area.
Yeah, tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Okay, man. Well, great. I'm glad you were involved. Thanks a lot for coming in,
Okay,
Ghost of
thanks,
Shannon.
Dave.
We'll see you again later. Take care. Yeah, that's Ghost of Shannon signing off. Heading to the heavens. Yeah. Living in Hong Kong has got to be a kind of a stressful environment. I can only imagine. That's why I really like minimizing the stress factor when living in a society. But not all of us have that convenience. Here's a great way to get around in Russia, in case you have to, make your move. We the people have had enough. You think it's disgusting how these rich people can think they can pay their way to school? I love the fact that they're getting exposed. Me too, Froggy. I think that's great. Lambda Chi Alpha. Somebody said, how many of your 1.5 billion viewers are in Hong Kong? We don't have any metrics on that. I'm sure that there's a way of finding that out. If we could go into the thought processes of all the people watching our show and tap into that untapped source of energy. I am probing the thoughts of everyone watching the show. Unmarried or living in a microflat. Hong Kong's high property prices driving rise of tiny homes and delaying marriages. Survey says, My Property website operator finds Hong Kong's high property prices are not only driving demand for microflats, but creating social distortions, which couples delaying marriage until they can save for a home. And it's shameful to not be married, In some of these cultures, you are living in sin, especially in cultures that are, traditional. Wow. High prices in Hong Kong. Everyone's living, because that's a lot of money. 3,000 to 4,000 a month will get you a place in Malibu, overlooking the water. Yeah, I'm thinking of that'd be better than Hong Kong. Have you considered checking out Malibu? I think the rental prices in Malibu are about equivalent to that. I'm personal. I like Malibu. I would have lived there if I had been able to stay in one place. I would have lived right out there in Point Doom with Barbara Streisand, but she wouldn't have me. She was married, and I don't know her. Billie Eilish is coming up at 9:35. This is awesome. Oh, Saturday night? Next Saturday, that's great. Yeah. So I got to wait a whole week to see her. Okay. I don't think so. If you somehow completely subtract the element of scum around you, you will see a much brighter picture with happy thoughts. Just install a scum detector in your brain and eliminate the scum from your visuals. It's a scum remover for scrubbing the scum out of your visual range. Yeah, Bob, I heard iBlog is having some problems attracting people. I know. They haven't done enough advertising. We need to get a viral program to get iBlog off the ground, Bob. What do you say we start tweeting about iBlog and tell everybody what a great site it is? Churches is going to be playing again on the Sunday. Okay. I might miss that, but I'd have to, I forgot it was even playing last Saturday. So we're talking about Coachella, everyone. The free venues of watching a live entertainment on the internet, it's kind of a fun happening. I mean, there's times during the year that you just tune in and see that music is really kind of a evolving feeling that's happening. I think it's getting more silly, like the 70s. I noticed that because we went through the grunge 90s and then into the 2000 era, and then where did we really go? I mean, yeah, it's just it's kind of gone mainstream Illuminati puppet with Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus. Yeah, so many people, Taylor Swift, have kind of fallen into that category. And of the male stars, I mean, geez, Are there any? Rupert, or whoever that guy is, Ruddard, that black singer that won the American Idol, he's going to be playing in our area, or he did. I think Katy Perry's way more talented than people give her credit for. I consider her one of the top tier. Yeah. But since we're talking about mindless entertainment, music isn't really evolving in a meaningful way, I think. I think we're still kind of stuck. But it's getting kind of funny, silly, kind of late 70s. Dancing Queen made a resurgence in Vegas. Cher is doing the Dancing Queen celebration. It's kind of like Dancing Queen. It's the disco is coming back again, I think. Something about just having fun and being silly. And that's what I'm getting from this Billie Eilish. I think she's really a silly, funny, and yet soulful. So silly, funny, soulful. Boy, I'm really making a great Truth Tuesday out of this, talking about mindless stuff. Let's get some stuff on the screen for you so you can look at what's going on. I've got a lot of links I got to get rid of, and you can help me with that. The criminal investigation's going on. A car found packed with gas canisters near Notre Dame. So this could have been a major thing. It turns out it points to possible Muslim involvement. The license plates have been removed and hazard lights were on. That's a little weird. Why would somebody leave their hazard lights on if they're going to bomb somebody? Its owner went to the police to report that his radicalized daughter was missing, but without saying his car had also disappeared. That's a little weird. Radicalized daughter carrying gas canisters right at the crux of where the dome has burned. And I'm on record urging France to rebuild it as a solar, some sort of a plastic dome. I think that'd be so great. Reliving and rebuilding what they had before is just too costly. When they could just put a really cool, sunlight access point, it would look really nice. Michael Avenatti is pretty much gone. He apparently tricked the paraplegic client into signing a reference, according to this report, which is very suspicious that he would go out of his way to trick one of his clients who he already allegedly fleeced, now facing over 30 felony indictments. I don't think his presidential campaign is going to take off. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Michael Avenatti's probably not going to have a campaign for 2020. Another one bites the dust. And this came in, I had to analyze what it was. It says Obama was writing, "We might not agree on much, but Bush is a great guy." And this is the endorsement of him. And then we're trying to figure out what this card meant, and I could barely see it, so I'm going to try to enlarge it on the screen here. And I think it means something about the duality, the division, left versus right, Democrat versus Republican, and the money involved. That's what I got from the card. I mean, if this was a Rorschach test, I would say, yeah, that's what it means. It means money rules the world, and inside that subset is this game they play where they both are black and white, or right or wrong, or left or right. It's all about division. Yeah, the conspiracy theory is pretty much alive that Katy Perry is possibly John Benet Ramsey. That whole theory is not fact per se, but I can tell you that the parents are extremely disturbing. That's a UNO card. Oh, really? Okay, thank you. It's a UNO card, which implies you know. I know, you know. Illuminati's big on UNO. That's their favorite game. Yeah. There you go. So now I know UNO was the card that you know about now. So when we look for similarities in the composition of their faces, we bring up a huge display of amazing similarities. Yeah, take a look at the parents, and let me isolate this screen a little bit so you can look at their faces up close. Yeah. That's a pretty powerful connection. They look identical. The parents look identical. Katy Perry's parents and John Benet Ramsey's parents. So it's hard to understand. Yeah, I mean, if this really is something that we have to, think about, if JonBenet Ramsey's face was age progressed, it would look like Katy Perry. That's a fact. So we do know that, factually speaking, Katy Perry is the human adult version of JonBenet Ramsey. And their parents look identical, but it would stand to reason their parents would look identical if indeed their genes are similar. Now, unless I had genetic samplings of JonBenet Ramsey and Katy Perry, I wouldn't be able to have a definitive answer to this potential question. Next. Any other questions? They all have nostrils and mouths and teeth. That proves it. No, they do look alike. There's no question about it. The problem is, I know this gets very complicated, but I too look like JonBenet Ramsey. So there's that question too. Is Dave JonBenet Ramsey? That's a theory. We can't verify. I think it's tragic, really. So the good thing is, if JonBenet Ramsey is alive, as Katy Perry, we don't have to think bad thoughts about what happened. Because they never found anyone entering the building or leaving the building at the Ramseys that night. The snow was completely virgin. No one had come in or out. And if you apply Occam's razor logical argument to this, that the most likely answer is she wasn't killed. Yeah. That they just wanted a new identity and break through. Because remember, Oracle stocks haven't done too well. And if the Ramseys wanted to get out from under their Oracle stocks and take on a new life and just hang out in the Bahamas and call their daughter, hey Katie, how's the new disco video doing? And that's the life maybe they wanted, I think it's higher than 78%. I'd say it's more like I'm going to put it at about a 96%. You still don't think that I'm Katy Perry? Okay. Join the broadcast. We have procams available right now for you to interact with Dave. Yeah, well, I don't really want to, extend the show all about Katy Perry or George Bush and the Uno card. I especially don't want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein for more than a couple seconds. New York Post says there's another new allegation that Jeffrey Epstein has, in fact, done it again. Another woman has come forth saying she was 26 years old when she was molested in 1996, and then they molested her 15-year-old sister. Yeah, so new allegations spinning, whether it comes to light. Obviously, Acosta has not said a single thing about this, even though our Labor Secretary Acosta was the judge that ruled that Jeffrey Epstein would only get 1 year in jail for allegedly trafficking 60 girls at Orgy Island. Yeah, 1 year in jail, and he trafficked 60 girls. That's pretty insane. The sympathy thing for Omar is coming in. She's bringing in the bucks. Omar is one of the top Democratic earners this quarter. Yeah, and the Democrats are all about money. So now the Muslim population is being fleeced by the Democrats. Isn't that something? You wish. Epstein's so protected, it's ridiculous. Our government doesn't seem to want to prosecute any of these serial offenders and child molesters. Omar has had the raw end of a deal after she made a flippant remark belittling the 9/11 attack as something someone did. And it's just really, and Glenn Beck attributed, somebody said, he said belittle. I just said it tonight, and somebody said Glenn Beck said that. So I'm saying what Glenn Beck said. Yeah, she belittled our country, and Trump is just kind of fanning the flame of hatred between Muslims because that's what he does. He likes to fan the flame. Why would you donate to Kamala Harris's presidential campaign? I let you in the show. Why would you do that? Yeah. Why would you make a donation here? What's wrong with you? That's not. Why would there be a box to donate to Kamala Harris on your form? That's ridiculous. Scissor Fight's here. He just popped in. Well, yeah, Katy Perry is way more popular around the planet than John Benet Ramsey. It's John Benet Ramsey's. I guess her age would be. I don't know. How old would John Benet Ramsey be right now? 1990 was her birth date, and then Katy Perry's birth date was 1984. So there's a 6-year variance. So Katy Perry is 6 years older than what John Benet would have been. Well, you're entitled to go get groceries anytime. I shop at Ralph's too. No, we don't have you under surveillance. We don't have a Ralph's in our area. People like music. It's a kind of an elixir to smooth out the rough edges of life. Aldi's? Oh, you're lucky. You got an Aldi's down there? Oh, lucky guy. We don't have Aldi's up here in Washington yet. I'm hoping we'll get one, but I have to drive 50 miles to go to a Trader Joe's, which is apparently as good as Aldi's. Yeah, I think people want to soothe their consciousness. That's why they like music. Trump vetoes the Yemen wars. I think Jared Kushner told him to do it, but whatever. We saw chemtrails over Notre Dame tonight. This video came in. Some sort of a triangle in the sky. See it? Anyway, that's the video we'll put in our post tonight. Park it away. There we go. Boom. Flipping video. Cool. You got a Piggly Wiggly? That's cool. Yeah, I like Piggly Wigglies. And this major reference to I Pet Goat in this particular movie, which we'll be playing at the end of our show. It's disturbing, symbolic movie showing people or beings that represent evil forces. Many people believe it was created by the Illuminati as a way of predicting the future. But when you look into the eyes of this I Pet Goat, you see this burning fire. See the fire, the flames? And it's much more realistic when you see it up close on a video. But then look at the crumbling cross in the background, which is clearly a replica of the position of the steeple that we just saw crash at Notre Dame. Look at the steeple crash, just like it did with the fire at the dome. Almost identical. So if they want to predict and foreshadow all the things they want to do on this planet, and then they start a fire in the middle of the dome, these people will stop at nothing. Okay, so you're sending an image of your Kamala Harris donation. So when you get your ballots, they actually have a place to donate to Kamala? Okay, I'll wait for that to download next week. Hero on the wall, who's the bravest of them all?
Hi guys, it's Claudia with Cabin Talk, and I wanted to come on because according to Business Insider, anybody who talks about vaccines at this point is most likely a Russian troll. And so that would make all of us basically Russian trolls. But that's not why I'm coming on. I'm coming on because I wanted to talk about that there is one business in this country that is immune to lawsuits. So you can make a child seat, a pacifier, a toy, children's clothing. If somebody gets injured by it or dies by it, lawsuit, big time liable. Why do you think we have all those little fine prints on anything? I mean, something is wrapped in a plastic wrapper and it says it's not a toy. Children can suffocate from it. I mean, like the dumbest. Oops, I'm back. Sorry about that.
It's okay. I think this is a good conversation, though, about things that are dangerous from China. It's just an FEC fund. It doesn't say Kamala Harris on it, ghost of Shannon. You're pulling my leg, man. You had me convinced here that Kamala Harris had a checkbox on a 1040 tax form. I know, I see that. And I think that's really rude to me as a candidate. It shows me that you're not really supporting me at all. You just like to be seen on TV. That's what it seems like to me. All right, here we go. In fact, I'm going to close the cameras just to punish you. Occasional Cortex. Do we have any more information on her? No? Okay. Well, that's a good video. We'll play that tonight as well. Hero on the wall in our lineup. Who's the fairest of them all? Of course, iPet Goat will be on there too. Yeah. Yowza. And we talked about Beto O'Rourke not paying. He underpaid his 2013 and 2014 taxes. Marrying a $12 billion woman. It's just a sad thing.
Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke and his wife appear to have underpaid their taxes in 2013 and 2014 because they improperly claimed the deduction for medical expenses, according to tax returns that the former Texas lawmaker released on Monday. In those,
I've heard enough there. Thank you.
Wisconsin.
What's this? Hillary's involvement with the international missing and exploited children. Oh, this is from last night. Yeah, I'm still reading this. This is a guy's blog called Corey's Digs. If you want to read some intense discussions about the interconnection between human rights advocates and child trafficking and Hillary and Bill, that's an interesting read. Many of us are trying to piece that together. I know Donald isn't going to prosecute Hillary, but I certainly would. Oh, I don't want to go to Alibaba because Jack Ma wants us all to work 72-hour shifts. I'm done with that. Getting through this. The fire, the steeple, the tragedy. You know, I think we should develop a booster for the audio signal for Karen Hudas. That's not playing. Let's take a look at Karen Hudas' audio, see if I can play it.
And we were
Good.
assisted in tackling this corruption. But
I like this. This is good. More audio. This is good. Last week, we heard her talk about how she was being hit by directed energy weapons, and she was a targeted individual. I seriously wonder if she is, because she may very well be. If they want to get rid of the one person that's trying to stop the World Bank from stealing all of our money, she's definitely got the ability. She's a very bright woman. We'll talk about her stuff tonight. You got a 16-minute video from Karen Hudas. That's cool. I like the new format. I think she got some complaints about the audio, because we could barely hear her last one. Tom's Maine toothpaste is good, yeah. You want to do Bon Appetit tonight? Okay. Bon Appetit deals with the issues of Illuminati eating people. Yeah, that's a common conspiracy theory, and in fact, it may be true. There's evidence that there are people eating children. I talked about this last night. Well, if they're alluding to that in this video, because that's a stretch to assume that, the idea of Bon Appetit and then putting Katy Perry's body out on a stretcher and massaging her, and then prepping her, and then dusting her like you'd mix a sauce, and then feeding her, and then eating her. It's just crazy imagery, and without getting into any more depth other than that, we'll be looking at Bon Appetit tonight, where Katy Perry puts herself out on the slab to be eaten in the video. Yeah, just kind of weird, bizarre stuff. If indeed these people are doing that, which can't really be confirmed, although I was in a person-to-person encounter. Thanks, Drag King. I'll look at that. Oh, yeah, 1 hour and 17 minute. You must see the 5G apocalypse, the extinction event. Thank you. Wow, what a great link. That looks like a good read tonight for our viewers. You know, I like it. I like to think of this as reading because we have to soak this information in. And just as passive viewers, we're actually thinking. So that'll be great. Thank you. The must-see 5G apocalypse. And I'll put it in environment too, as well. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, there's pure honey out there that's not pure. Good point. Yeah, they make charcoal toothpaste. It works really well. It's the As Seen on TV line that they sell at chemists. They call them chemists in England. Pharmacies. As Seen on TV, this stuff is just pure charcoal. You put it on your, it's like coconut shells that have been burned, but you put it on your teeth and it really works. It brightens your teeth without using dangerous peroxide. And this is climate change engineering programs over Wyoming. Oh yeah. Mike Decker. He's a pretty outside person, and I love the fact that he's exposing the fact that they're literally dumping chemicals in our most beautiful area of Wyoming.
Wasn't that just lovely? April 15th, 2019.
Kind of relaxing to look at Mike Decker with his really good camera, look at the chemtrails, you know. It's kind of being there. It's almost a vicarious feeling of being there in the open plains, but looking at chemtrails. Out on the range with the deer and the chemtrails spray. It is this one. Yes, the Active Bright Charcoal As Seen on TV. I brought it for $9.99. Isn't it amazing? It freshens your mouth. Yes, the miracle smile. It's pretty cool. You just, somebody said, David, you got some black stuff on your mouth. Yeah, well, that's because I didn't rinse it off of my lip. So I had it on my lip. Sometimes it gets up in there. It may still be there, actually. Loneliness is the biggest problem in America.
You say got cold-blooded, you say cold-hearted. But he's far from cold-hearted. He wants to be there.
She loves her Komodo dragon.
Nice. I've never seen a lizard wanting any sort of human interaction before, and I'm like, well, are you buying my body heat or what? And like, he just let this heat source just sit on my lap, and I'm like,
this looks so weird. I can't wait to see this Komodo dragon and the giant lizard and the bond that she has with this lizard. I just hope it doesn't turn into some kinky weird thing, bestiality. God forbid. I don't need to see that tonight. Black mouth face, yeah. Yeah, I could rub it all over my face. It would be really hard to come off too. I know, he is like, I'm going to eat you when you're not looking kind of thing. Maybe that's why he's getting so cuddly with her, because he just wants to grab her by the neck and suck.
Hey, don't eat the camera.
A parent actually asks, really? Things that go bump in the night. Things like that. Okay.
Don't eat. Really?
Really?
Really? Am I recording? Yeah. Hey, don't eat the camera.
Really? Boy, I love trained parrots, but not that much. Yeah, I don't know. It's just bird poop, and all the whole. That'll be fun. That'll break up our life. Fun stuff. Isn't it special? This will be kind of like the Mr. Rogers of the internet eventually. We'll just be playing all these fun little how to gut the microbiome effects of the brain and mind. Yeah, I can't wait to find that out too.
For sponsoring this video. One summer afternoon when Dr. Martin Blosser was still a medical student, he went to see an 11-year-old boy who had suddenly become ill and was hospitalized.
Well, this is kind of cool, an alternative view of helping people. And this is happiness. It's a cartoon about happiness. We'll play that tonight. That's in the lineup. I guess Sarah's been busy. Ooh, talk about disturbing. How many people have a mouth shaped like an anus? I don't know. There's not that many people on Earth. Donald Trump has vetoed a congressional resolution that sought to end the U.S. involvement in the Saudi-led war in Yemen. So, yeah, apparently Donald Trump wants the Saudis to continue the war in Yemen. Okay. That's pretty much what Jared was doing when he started the whole thing, when they wouldn't give him a loan for his 666 Fifth Avenue building. The screaming, farting preacher. Okay. Huh. Okay. Yeah, that might be fun to watch tonight. I mean, we're doing a little Reverend Manning. I mean, I don't see why that wouldn't be fun for Truth Tuesday. Oh, that was me and Carl when we met. There you go. Awesome Carl. He comes in the show once in a while. And yes, Alibaba's Jack Ma calls 12-hour days a blessing. He wants everyone to become a worker ant and work the rest of their life and become enslaved to the system. Can you imagine? I thought he was a cool guy until he did that.
The south.
I mean, then he did that. It was like, forget it, man. You're just not cool, Jack. Jack Ma. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. No, he's not in the room right now, but he sometimes comes in the room. When I asked him questions, how are you? Oh, pretty good. He started an acting career. He's doing really well. He's got a major motion picture coming out, I understand. Awesome Carl's Rainy Day Sunday, I think, something like that. He's going to play a surfer. He's a self-made man. I mean, Awesome Carl brags himself up better than anybody, and it's proof.
He got 45, and
it's proof that if you keep bragging about yourself, eventually people believe it. Yeah, Awesome Carl's kind of a unique guy. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. It's like, wow, you really are awesome. I'm like an award winner of Special Olympics. 35 medals.
Ruger Red Hawk 44 Magnum, big game hunt. We're going to be looking at guns tonight. That's what makes life better when you're safe and protected and you know you got a firearm that you can guarantee survival. Yeah. We're trying to act tough because we got a gun video on the screen. Yeah, let's take a look at some of these fire rounds. He's blowing off a 44 Magnum. The most powerful handgun in the world. It'll blow your head clean off.
low pig and work across again.
Boom, yeah. Steady the fire. Yeah, you bet. He was a good shot, too. We'll be featuring him in our late night segment, featuring guns.
All right. Are you related to Billy Idol? Actually, I did see his last concert. Billy Idol is back up and he's in Vegas, I guess. His last concert, right when he had his accident, his tragic accident, motorcycle accident, he managed to get on stage 6 weeks later, and I saw his performance. I think it was 1984, if I'm not mistaken. But Billy Idol's got a real classic approach toward everything. Yeah, he kind of talks. He's kind of an English accent. He's a pretty cool guy, if you ask me. No, I'm not related to him. Yes, 1984 Olympics. Peter Ueberroth. Los Angeles. Big year. Big part of my life happened at that time. Well, thank you for that gun experience. We'll take a look at that. It's not something I want to shirk away from. I always wanted to see a 44 Magnum in clear view. We're just going through the news clips from a couple days ago. Misanthropy found this site that's just really freaky. It is a constant face generator. It's a computerized face generator. When you refresh the face, it comes up with a new thing, a new face every time you hit it. It's kind of freaky. Let's play it out for you. They could duplicate a face like Julian Assange, no problem, with computer graphics. That's a kid. No, that's not good. That's a woman. I thought I saw her last night. They may just be rolling the same graphics over the page. Yeah, well, apparently it's able to create new faces all the time. I like it because it's really cool. It makes me feel fresh, like a daisy. I feel like a real woman. Ah. Isn't that freaky? Yeah, here it is. It's called thispersondoesnotexist.com. Check it. It's what's going down, man. Every time you hit it, thispersondoesnotexist.com is a face that's been generated from a computer. Okay, I think we're good there. We have the truth about Steve Jobs. We've been doing some searching. Media Verification Alliance is analyzing a WikiLeaks release that happened regarding Steve Jobs. And let me show you this. This is pretty serious. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we'll redact his social security number so you won't have to see it on the screen. Stephen Paul Jobs, and then I'm going to take this section and blow it up, has a test for, incorrect, has a test for AIDS right here. Let me expand it out. HIV DNA test for AIDS showed, yeah. Let me get clarity here. Test work. HIV is positive. So he was positive for HIV. Yeah. So he had AIDS. Yeah. Here's a leak link, a leaky link to the WikiLeaks. The WikiLeaks link. Yes. Are you sure he was gay? Is that why he had such a bad relationship with his wife and his kid? You may have a good point there, because he acted kind of like a jerk, don't you think, Steve Jobs? I mean, I've seen a couple bios on the guy. The question was, really, did Steve Jobs know Rock Hudson intimately? Last days, yeah. All of us are wondering. I actually was approached by Rock Hudson right before, about 6 weeks before he died. He came by a store I was working at and like walked by me, and I was like, I had to double take it. I was like, is that Rock Hudson? Here is Rock Hudson when right around toward the end of his life. And that's him looking good, you know. This is him actually looking pretty good. When I saw him, it was like he was so gaunt and withdrawn, and he was with his partner that he was living with. And he was like looking at me like he wanted to hit on me or something. It's like, because I'm not gay, I'm a heterosexual. And it was just so creepy to see an actor like him, you know, eyeing somebody looking like near death. It's like the worst case scenario of a guy nearly dying of AIDS trying to hit on somebody. It was so freaky, I can't tell you. He was like walking on. They always do that. It's their last gasp for that last orgasm they're seeking.
All right, I'm going to film this for Walmart.
Oh, wait a second. We got a guy who says that Walmart is ripping people off. Now, before we go into detail here, we want to make sure that you understand that Walmart can charge different prices in different stores legally. And that, I just want to, I'm not a spokesman for the Walmart company, but let's just say that.
Because I'm tired of getting gypped of their meat every time we go there. So we buy this chicken, and since we've been being more healthy, I've got a scale that I measure everything out for portion control. all that good stuff, and for some reason I don't want to. There we go. So you see the meat here, $1.99 a pound, Best Buy, blah blah blah, 4.43 pounds. But if I do this, clear it. Yes, I've washed my hands. Yes, I follow food precaution. All that good stuff for you germaphobes. And I do disinfect my entire counter when I'm done, but that's 3.6 pounds, and this is 4.43, which is a little less than a pound when I first measured it.
They're ripping people off.
I realized, you know what? Maybe what Walmart is doing is charging me, and everybody else for that matter, for this big thick holder that they do.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
That's closer to the weight
Yeah.
than just the chicken is. So
That's true.
paid another $1.99, $2 for this fancy little styrofoam mabobber and this little pad underneath. So see what Walmart has to say about that.
Thank you. All right, Walmart, thank you very much. You need to get your act together. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get through to Walmart. They're going to get a real customer representative. Sir, thank you so much for weighing this out. Well, it is our standard practice to provide the meat quantity does not necessarily reflect the price of the meat quantity weight. Weight-wise could include the packaging, sir. It's written in the fine print in the bylaws of food processing based on USDA law. And then he'll open up a book and he'll start reciting. I called up a grocer of mine because they had meat in their past due section that was actually had green fuzz growing on it. I said, it's green. I called the USDA guy and I said, it's a green meat. And he said to me, and this is a quote, and he opened up a book, it says, green meat is wholesome meat, sir. We believe, USDA believes that green meat is wholesome meat. Yep. And it had fuzz growing on it. And I said, well, it's got like this mildew. He said, no, green is wholesome meat. Green meat is wholesome meat. It's written in the USDA bylaws. Oh, yeah. I know. Pretty trippy, huh? But if it's purple, he said, and it has the fuzz on it, then it's got to be recalled. Purple is the thing you got to worry about, he said. But green meat is wholesome meat. Whatever. Fuzz is just nature telling you you're special. I know. If you let it sit on the rack long enough, you'll get those special maggots growing too, and I'm sure that's pretty safe. Not. You can still get proper search results on YouTube. When searching conspiracy topic, simply go on DuckDuckGo. Type in the words you want to search and add the phrase site:/youtube.com without the quotes. Wow. They're apparently they found a way around these search algorithms that prevent people from accessing any real information. As the censorship is increasing around the globe because the truth is getting out. They're working diligently to try to stop anyone from accessing it. So this is a way to do it. You don't have to use YouTube's manipulated search bar. Just go to DuckDuckGo and type in the words, add the phrase site:/youtube.com without the quotes, and you should go right to the source. Cool. We should test it out. Yeah. DuckDuckGo. Privacy Simplified. Now this is run by the FBI, I believe. DuckDuckGo, is that right? So they'll know exactly what you're searching for. Okay. Let's go to Clinton body count, because I've had a hard time getting that. And then site:/youtube.com. Okay. Ta-da! Wow, okay. This is a pretty good, summation of all the people that are died. little loud. Let's see what else they have.
On July, it is damning evidence of an extensive cover.
This looks like 7 minutes we can handle. The other one had too loud of a little thing. They believe JFK had information. That, yeah. All right, I'll add that to our link tonight. Thank you for that tip, says Misanthropy. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah. Maverick, how Chuck Norris bottles C-Force water. You know, I'm not happy with the C-Force water thing.
Well, hey, Chuck. I mean, thanks for the tour of your ranch, but this Texas heat is unbearable.
Did he say thanks for the tour of your ass or your ranch? Okay, let me hear that again.
Well, hey, Chuck. I mean, thanks for the tour of your ranch, but this Texas...
It sure sounded like ass, but whatever.
Texas heat is unbearable. I am thirsty.
Do you want some water?
You have water? What, do you just look at the ground and the earth surrenders to you?
Okay, this is hokey. I'm a little concerned that these bottles are, yeah, they're plastic, and I'm more concerned about microplastic. The dangers of microplastic has been noted. Without any ado, let's get into the discussion of microplastic and BPA, yeah. Now, Chuck Norris, in his infinite attempt to make money on his great name, is missing the whole thing. Get glass bottles, Chuck.
Process.
Chuck these plastics, Chuck, and get glass bottles. Goats eat weeds, farm to fork, Wyoming. This looks natural. I could see going out there in the big plains and being all natural and getting all dirty and going, hey, this feels great being out here. Well, you can do it from the comfort of your own home, living vicariously through other people. Give it a shot. You too can excel at doing nothing and still feel like you're doing something. Yep. Thank you. I'll add it to our show tonight. And here's the goat lady. Explains why weeds are good for... Yeah, that was it. Big corporations ripping customer off and our feared God. Dave intends to put a stop to it. I would hope psycho behavior, but God has not acted through the two-party system yet. God is not able to actually get his message out to the corrupt people that suck money out of the corporate tit. Like a person is suckling on a nipple. Really? You tried to clean out a plastic bottle of water with hot water once and it felt like I was dying for a week. I wouldn't doubt it. You're very sensitive, Misanthropy. I think you suffer from ESS, environmental stress syndrome. I don't know if you're diagnosed, but that's my suggestion. North Korea sends hit squads after defectors from its secret police. Wow. Okay, this is scary. They're sending hit squads out after defectors from its secret police. So this is crazy. I mean, not only does he kill his brother, and I understand he's just killed another 350 people, so that brings his kill total to no, actually this is the original 350 people. He kills people that don't agree with him. So Trump likes him a lot. He's a good friend. Oh, Kim and I are getting along very well. He's a very good person. I trust him. I take him on his word that he doesn't have any nuclear weapons. And I understand Vladimir Putin has assured me that nuclear weapons do not exist in North Korea. Did you hear Trump saying that? He believes Vladimir Putin, who says that North Korea doesn't have any nuclear weapons. It's crazy. This guy can even be president. I mean, I can't even believe he's not in an Alzheimer's clinic receiving fish burgers intravenously. The crisis in the ranks of North Korea's secret police agency can be traced back to immediately after the failure of the Hanoi summit between Kim Jong-un, the North Korean dictator, and U.S. President Donald Trump in late February, reported the Daily NK, citing reports from its network of undercover citizen reporters in North Korea and China. In early March, 3 MSS officials based in the Chinese city of Shenyang concluded that the secret bank accounts that they were using under fake Chinese names had been compromised and they were under surveillance. 3 men emptied the accounts of significant amounts of money that they were reportedly charged with using to procure technology and other items that are banned under United Nations sanctions and disappeared. A number of other agents of the MSS, widely considered the most brutal unit in the North and responsible for ensuring that defectors are caught and punished, as well as operating the regime's network of concentration camps, have also since disappeared in China. Wow. So the elite people that go out and get people have disappeared. North Korea stepped up its search for the men in mid-March after a senior MSS official based in Pyongyang fled with his family through the Chinese border city of Dandong. The official apparently had little choice but to escape out of concern that he would be held responsible for the defections of his subordinates in China. So they're all like, it's like a mass exodus away from Kim Jong-un, knowing that any one of them will be killed because he was involved in the attempt to mutiny, the mutiny attempt to leave North Korea. This is very intense. Well, creating hit squads isn't a fun and happy thing to do. I mean, it's kind of a crappy thing to do. North Korea is not a nice place to live, and Kim Jong-un is not a nice person. He's a murderer. So why does our president go meet the guy? I wouldn't press flesh with the guy. I wouldn't shake his hand. I wouldn't go there. I think it's kind of nuts, actually. Same with Duterte. You want to talk about a hellhole? The slums of Manila are beyond belief. How can anyone live in Manila? And how can Duterte even call himself a leader? When you look at what they're dealing with, these people live in a typical environment like this. I mean, talk about a crap hole. It's just unbelievable. Look at this. This is Manila Bay Area. I mean, how can people live in this? I'm telling you. This is disgusting. Jeez. This is where we discovered Pag Pag, which a man was selling in the slums in a little restaurant, which was actually a cardboard box he called a restaurant. This is deplorable, and for Trump to support Duterte is disgusting. Bruce Lee's daughter Shannon Lee breaks down a long journey to bring Warrior to life. Wow. Okay. Long and winding road. Doo -doo. Okay, Bruce Lee's data. Whoa. Oh, back again. Okay, here we go. Digesting the news. Bruce Lee's daughter, Shannon Lee, breaks down the long journey to bring Warrior to life.
Embedded in the Tong Wars of the time, as well as all of the sort of tensions and conflicts of the time. You know, this show, Warrior, is based on a treatment that my father wrote, and the thing that I want to sort of get across the most is beautiful, multifaceted, authentic Chinese stories and characters, and also just have this be an extension of his legacy. We spent a lot of time like really creating the best martial arts sequences and having the fights be emotionalized and not just violence for violence sake, but really part of the story. And so it's got this really fun, action-packed side, but it's also got this deeper, more meaningful side, and I really hope that comes through.
This is not China. It's Chinatown.
Ooh, okay. Okay, it looks good. Shannon Lee made Warrior. I'm pretty impressed. Yeah, I can't wait. The story of eggs. Okay, I think I'll pass on that, yeah. When California went to war over eggs, you know, they were paying up to $30, the equivalent of $30 a dozen eggs back in the gold rush era. Yeah, I just learned that. Manila sucks. Those poor people are really in dire need of some serious help. I just think that there's a need to clean cities up. We need to actually go in and clean them up with the people in them and give them a safe haven while we clean them up. I'm not saying I'm going to help Manila, but I've talked about airdropping food, possibly. Countries like Venezuela could use it. Yeah. This is a great idea that could come to fruition someday. Stored food in our reserves that are cycling through could be in biodegradable plastic even. And have a shelf life of, say, 4 or 5 years. And we can rotate them in and drop them on people. I think the fact that they're putting 5G in on the PlayStation 5 is typical. Wi-Fi routers have been pushing 5G for the past 5 years. They've been integrating 5G into all our Wi-Fi routers. Our Wi-Fi router is 5G. It's typical. It doesn't surprise me. There is no effort to find the safety factor in 5G. We got a great video that Drag King brought us tonight. We should find out more. 5G is clearly not tested. I wouldn't doubt they're going to spray chemtrails in PlayStation 5. I wouldn't doubt that, yeah. They're trying to at least neutralize us to the idea that chemicals are good. Remember, when I was a kid, Dow Chemical came to my elementary school with this theme that without chemicals, life itself would not be possible. And I actually used to say, without chemicals, life itself would not be possible. Without life with chemicals would not be possible. So I was thinking that if we weren't alive, we wouldn't even talk about chemicals. But yeah, it's kind of strange. They were trying to make us all accept that DDT was something we should all like. You know, when we play in our yard, we should all just play in the DDT. Why not? Without chemicals, life itself wouldn't be possible. So it's like mainstreaming DDT is deadly. But you know what we did during the 1960s when they outlawed it in America? Dow Chemical just boxed it all up and sent it to South America and Africa and India, all over the world. So all the DDT we had in our storage units was sent all around the world. And guess where we get all of our vegetables and produce? From South America. Yeah. So we're still eating the DDT, latent particles of DDT. It's just sick the way the world has become so corrupt and toxic. It's sick. I find it very disturbing that we deal with this on a daily basis.
Hold on. Okay, go.
What a tremendous day we're having here. Okay, hold on. Okay, do it again. We'll do it again.
Go ahead.
No, hold on.
Go ahead.
We'll do it right.
Go ahead.
Let's go like this when you're ready. What a tremendous day here. The Long Island Railroad is screwing up this job. It's a horrible job. I have hired my good friend John Valente and his great wife Rosie. They're tremendous people. And I'm going to tell you right now, we have to come in and do this job on time and under budget. We're going to go with Oliveria, or is it Oliveria? They're good people. They're Italian, but they're good. Or are they Portuguese? I don't know. But they're tremendous people, and we are going to get this job done, and done the right way. We are hiring many more pork chops because we love them. They're tremendous people. And we are going to do a great job here, Rosie. I'm going to tell you, your husband is a tremendous attribute to this job, and we are going to get this job done the right way, the union way, and it's going to be a tremendous job. He's a great carpenter. He really is. I eat lunch with carpenters. Thank you so much, even the Evil Media, for coming.
Evil Media for coming. That guy is hilarious. He's saying pork chops, yeah. He's funny as hell, and he should get a job other than construction. He could even become president of the United States if he did his shtick. I don't think we'd know the difference. Do you? And I really don't think it would matter. I mean, I'm sure he's got more intelligence than, I think he's the same size as Donald. He looks a little shorter because Donald's 6'1". He was 6'2", but he's shrunk a little bit. That guy would be great with Saturday Night Live. Yeah, he's really good. He'd be fantastic. Somebody should just, look up the live leak and contact those people. I'm too busy doing nothing to, do that. I can't even speed dial anybody at Saturday Night Live. I don't know anybody of the people there anymore. Dana Carvey, are you there? Hello? Dana? Well, isn't that super special? I don't get anybody when I call Silent Live anymore. Hey, I like that suit and tie you got on. Thanks, Time Pilot. Yeah, I picked it up at a thrift store for $5. I'm debating whether I'm going to take it to a dry cleaner because I'm getting some edgy dirt on it, and I'm wondering if I should spend $20 on the cleaning of a $5 suit. I don't really know. I'm sure they're going to charge me $20 to clean this thing. They always do. Actually, I just called up and asked how much a suit would cost to actually tailor, and they told me $20 an hour. I'm just going to look for cheaper suits for $5 than to wash it. I think that'd be the better idea. I was thinking of just taking it to one of those coin-operated washers that you wash your car, and I could do my car at the same time, and just lay the suit on the car and just like hit it with the hot water and the steam wax, Simonize it. It says dry clean only though, but do they really mean that?
Hit on run.
Kitboga is going to do more interviews with people who are scammers.
Yes. We had a scamming video last night that was really intense. The guy actually went into the computer of the scammer. You know how the scammers want to take over your computer and provide excellent consumer support, or customer service for technical support? And these people pretend to be technical support experts when you get hit with a virus. Well, that's just they're fishing for you to get a phone call to them. And then you call them up and say, "Hi, I've got this virus." They say, "Oh, I want to take over your computer." And then you give a license to take over, and they have to give you a password, a handshake, to take over your computer. Well, this guy grabbed the password and immediately made a hostile attack on the guy's computer, erased all the files he had on every one of his customers, wiped out the scammer's entire hard drive. It was hilarious. So Kitboga does something similar. He pretends to be somebody he's not, using voice synthesizers. And unlike me, who has over 1,000 voices in my repertoire, he has just his voice synthesizer.
Okay, like there's some stain in my hand, and I just clean it. You put a sausage in your pan. Yes. Yes, exactly.
So he engages the scammers in conversations, and then finally, confronts them at the end of this thing. Do not fall for these click-through attempts to take over your computer. It's just an attempt to hijack. There are screen hijackers that will pretend like you got all kinds of problems. They just automatically, you hit the wrong site and they'll start sending you information saying your computer is corrupted with a virus. That's just them trying to get you to call them. I hope you realize that. Not many people do, obviously. They wouldn't be in business if people weren't scammed so much, right? He system keyed it, yeah. You buy new clothes and there you get them tailored on site. Well, aren't you rich? You can buy really nice suits for next to nothing in Singapore. Wow. I guess it's no longer Singapore, it's now Singa-rich. They're very cheap there. Well, I'm sure just going to Singapore is pretty disturbing. I mean, let's at least MapQuest it, okay? I haven't been to Singapore, and I don't know if I'm going to be making it, considering I may not travel all the way to Singapore, but I think it's really worth our time to go there right now and just walk around. We have the ability to do that. This is the beauty of the MapQuest and all the abilities to walk around. Let's just walk right in there somewhere. Whoa! Look at that. Isn't that cool? You can drop anywhere in any city doing this. Wow, this is awesome. Man, this is a three-dimensional picture of some village in the middle of Singapore. Wasn't that great? You want to do it again? Let's do it again. Let's just drop right in there. Whoa, right on the edge there. Boom. Whoa, isn't that great? Whoa. So you don't even have to go there. You can just Pets Ministry. American names, see? You can like all kinds of American, pretty easy for Americans to. Yeah, you should try that sometime. Go to maps.google.com and then just drop in there with a little guy. It's like traveling free without jet fuel. I've never been to a geisha hangout. I know the geisha girls like me, but I've never wanted to be with a geisha girl. It's something about the baby powder that bothers me. Well, they just found out that Johnson & Johnson said the baby powder has asbestos in it. And I consider asbestosis to be serious. Well, asbestos. It's better than other things, but it's definitely asbestos. But asbestos is dangerous, causes mesothelioma, Yeah, asbestosis. I don't know if I want white powder on my girls or women. Thank you. I have one woman in my life. That's all I want. Thank you. But yeah, if you ladies are using powder, Johnson & Johnson just made a very serious, there's a lawsuit pending that was just settled regarding baby powder. It's not safe to breathe or use in private areas. No, dude, like I have cable for sure. I don't have cable TV though. Yeah, I have no cable TV. I use Netflix because I don't like commercials. Have you seen the alien spacecraft right here? Oh, it's one of my things I left there. Okay. That was just a link. I just got rid of it. And we were inside the Cloister Sponheim. Beautiful church. Cloister Sponheim is a church in the town of Sponheim. I thought this would be a nice touchdown considering Notre Dame burning to the crisp. I'll see you later, guys. I'm going to go back down the aisle. Ooh. Whoa, I'm back. Very Western, yeah. Okay. And in lieu of the corruption issues that are still pending, tomorrow should be a really fun, or actually Thursday is going to be the reveal. William Barr is going to completely finish his color-coded redaction of the 400 plus pages that are apparently Mueller had investigated. It'll be red, white, and blue, and green, and purple, and fuchsia. And I believe, no, I'm just making this up, but apparently it's going to be color-coded with layers of redaction, meaning we're not going to get to see anything. And the collusion issue really has reached a kind of a tipping point. Donald Trump is taking so many orders from Russia that he allowed an Area 51 flyover from a Russian aircraft last week called Operation A Treaty on Open Skies. And I got to tell you, this is unheard of. We've got Vladimir Putin threatening Western countries, it's the U.S., with a strike within 5 minutes of our borders. They say that they've got a missile that can go 27 times the speed of sound. And Donald Trump allowed them to fly over Area 51 last week. Now, they've got the ability to destroy our country within a 5-minute period. And Donald Trump allowed them to fly over our most top secret military installation. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it settling in your brain that we are dealing with serious collusion? And when Bill Barr became owned by the Russians and he wrote that 19-page letter saying not to investigate obstruction and now says there is no obstruction, this is not good for America. We are dealing with a potential takeover of our country from within. And I don't talk about this on a daily basis, but if you want to send some links to some of your conservative supporters of Russia or Trump, send that link around. That'll blow their mind. I will win 2020. Yeah, I just need at least, I'd say, 20 seconds of media time in the mainstream media to convince people I'm the best. I've got everybody, right now in our effort, I've got everybody thinking about a new third party. 57%, according to a Gallup poll, wants a third party. I've been in there literally battling every night to reach out to the American people and worldwide audiences to try to break this censorship, and I'm going to break it. I'll eventually get a story, but it may take a long time. I'm prepared for that. I'm into this for 10 years so far, and pretty much that hasn't landed me the story that I need because I haven't had a story. All right. Thank you. Thanks for the heads up there, Psycho Behavior. You're really giving me some top information. I don't believe it, but that's nice to know. Yeah, if I was president, there would be world peace. I'd make sure of it. As you can see, I'm a pretty pliable and easy to get along with person, except for that, one day where I got pissed off about homeless people living in tents. But the 5 minutes when I get pissed off on camera defending homeless people who living in tents, I'm not ashamed of. I'm sorry I did get angry, but it wasn't devastating. It was like I was fighting my point. But out of 30,000 hours of broadcasting, I don't think you should judge me on 5 minutes of me getting pissed off because I want homeless people to have a place to shower without paying anybody or working their way to their shower. I don't believe in work camps like Hitler did or Jack Ma. So Barr has said that the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, is going to be applied to all migrants who show a credible threat and be detained forever. Huh. This is worse than John Woo of the George W. Bush time when he wanted to get rid of any safety for anybody coming in, calling them all enemy combatants and violating the Geneva Convention. This William Barr sounds like he's cut out of the same cloth of Adolf Hitler. Yeah, I think he's working for Russia. I think William Barr is or owned by Zionists, one or the other, or both. His ruling reversal is kind of shaking some heads here. He's now claiming that some asylum seekers could be held indefinitely.
They don't do this? Well, really what's going on at the border is it's almost like two different things, this confluence of events.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll play that a little bit later, too. Wow. CNN News. Okay, I guess we have no major new developments in the 153 News section, so. Yeah, Scissorfight believes that you are a Russian double agent. Psycho Behavior, you know what he was doing? Psycho Behavior was over in China pretending to be an agent of America's third party. The guy has been violating our trust for some time now. Now he's making statements against you. Yeah. Yeah, he was he claimed to be over in China trying to negotiate for us. We'd never authorized him to do that. I don't ever negotiate with Chinese governments or Russian governments. I'm not like Trump. I would never violate the Logan Act. He's not trying. He was, he says. The name fits it, yeah. Psycho Behavior. I would never violate the Logan Act or encourage anyone to do that. So it's easier to buy a house under an assumed name with no credit while robbing a bank than getting a FISA warrant. I wouldn't doubt that's true. But, you know, no president has ever really focused on FISA warrants. They've had over 50,000 breaches of that law under every administration, and not one person has... I never authorized you. That's BS. God, you're such an idiot. So, can you believe these people? You just sub music channels? Oh, nice. Okay. Donations from top Christian elite families reach €1 billion in 24 hours. Apparently, this is a big money grab for a... Burning of the Notre Dame Cathedral has been a real big boost for donations. Wow. If the Vatican had known that earlier, they would probably have just set fire to the new building that they created that looks like a snake. Yeah. Think of all the donations that would come in under that if they just decided to get rid of that building. Yeah, the Notre Dame Castle, or the entire Notre Dame Cathedral, you know, burns, but this building shaped like a snake, oh, it's doing really well. Who doesn't want to go to the Vatican and hang out in the Snakehead building? And let's not forget that this is all part of a... Well, I don't want to go there. Hey, we've reached the end of the show. Thanks for coming in. Always good to talk. It's only to the rebuilding, not to the Catholic Church. Well, we know how that works. I'm sure Pope Francis will authorize all construction at the Notre Dame Cathedral will be managed by the mafia at high price labor. They have unions, you know, in France. You cannot just have a building restored. It must be done at high price. There's ways around those methods, I'm sure. I'm sure the French government will love it. They work collaterally with the Vatican. Why would there be a problem there? Since when did the French government not work with the Vatican? All right, thank you so much for sharing this thought. It was a message from God to the French people to get rid of the Muslim and Sodomites, or else? I don't know. It looks more like a message that was in the movie I Pet Goat 2, which will be playing in just a few minutes. We're all set to queue up for the most bizarre symbolic Illuminati film on Earth. Here it is, I Pet Goat 2. The French government works for Islam now? Oh, that was from the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, well, we know that that's not... I don't know if that's true. Yeah. Checking. There it is. Wow, we got a lot of videos here. Okay, we got a really good video to look at. Nice. I'm going to move the Reverend Manning discussion of semen in Starbucks coffee. That's just too bizarre. And the screaming of the farting professor, I'm going to move down, or preacher. But this looks good. Okay, here we go. Okay, if you haven't seen this, this is pretty bizarre. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. I'll be back tomorrow night, 5 p.m., with another show. Yes, Wasteful Wednesday will be starting tomorrow night. We have a great lineup. Yeah, lots of good stuff. And I hope you guys have a good night's sleep. Get at least 6 hours sleep to refresh and restore your body and your mind. All right, now my outro. Mr. Right. I know. It sounds so good. Where is my Mr. Right? Huh. There it is. I found it. Here it is. Okay, see you later. Take care.
Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good. Just spin my world around. Cause you're the peace I find. You sweep me off my feet. My heart stops to beat. Cause you make me melt away. Cause you make me melt away. My Mr. Right, too good to be true.